Hi students, good morning. Today we are going to learn a new chapter, how state government works. Before going to the chapter, we must have to know why do we have a state government. As you know, India is a huge country with 28 states and 8 union territories. The distribution of power between the center and states has been provided for in the Constitution of India for the smooth functioning of the country. The state government is responsible for good governance of the people of state. The state government manages the affairs of state at three levels: the legislative, executive, and administrative. The state legislature consists of the governor and one or two houses. In states where there are two houses, there is a legislative council and there is a legislative assembly. The legislative council or Vidhan Parishad is the upper house and the legislative assembly or Vidhan Sabha is the lower house of the state legislature. Powers and functions of legislative assembly. It acts as the highest lawmaking organ of the state. A proposal to pass to law or to amend an existing one is called a bill. The bill is introduced in legislative assembly. These proposals are debated or discussed among the members of the assembly before voting. Once the bill is approved with majority vote, it is sent to the other house where it goes through the same procedure. Thereafter, the bill goes to the governor for his approval. Once approved, the bill becomes a law. What is a budget? The budget is like a future account of the government. It gives the proposals of income and expenditure of the government. The budget is presented by the finance minister. What comprises the executive? The executive comprises of council of ministers and chief minister. The members of the assembly control the executive. Powers and functions of legislative council. The legislative council is mainly an advisory body. The members of the legislative council are not directly elected by the people of the state but by different bodies of the state. This is a permanent body. The members are elected for a term of 6 years. The governor. The governor is the constitutional head of the state. He is appointed by the president of country. He appoints the chief minister and other members of the council of ministers. He appoints the advocate general and other officers of the state. Every bill has to be approved by the governor. He has the right to dissolve the legislature. Eligibility. He or she has to be a citizen of India. He or she should not be a member of either house of the parliament or state legislature. He or she cannot hold any office of profit. What is a constituency? Every state is divided into small areas called constituencies, which is a specified area covering one or more districts. Each such constituency has an elected representative who is a member of the Legislative Assembly. The State Legislative Assembly consists of not more than 500 members and not less than 60 members. Odisha has 147 constituencies. The biggest state is the Uttar Pradesh and it has 403 members in its assembly. The state which have a small population and are small in size have a provision for making even lesser number of members in the legislative. For example, the Pondicherry Assembly has only 30 members. And likewise, the Mizoram, Goa have only 40 members. And Sikkim has only 32 members. Member of Legislative Assembly or MLA. Every 5 years, election is announced for state legislative assembly. Political parties nominate their people for each constituency. All members of the Legislative Assembly are elected on the basis of adult franchise, and one member is elected from one constituency. Who is MLA? A member of Legislative Assembly is a representative elected by the voters of an electoral district or constituency to the legislature of a state in the Indian system of government. How is the government formed in state? After the election of Legislative Assembly, the political party whose MLAs won more than half the number of constituencies in a state. It is said to be in a majority and has the first right to form the government of the state. What is coalition government? When no single party have a clear majority, different parties may join together and they are forming a coalition government. The leader of the majority party is appointed as the chief minister by the governor. The eligibility of chief minister. He must be the citizen of India and he must have 25 years of age. He should be a member of either house of state legislature. Power and functions of chief minister. The chief minister is the leader of the legislative assembly of the state. He selects the ministers in the council of ministers. As the head of the council, he allocates the portfolios or the departments to them. The CM is the main link between the governor and the state cabinet. Generally, the governor exercises all his functions on the advice of the chief minister. It is his duty to communicate to the governor all decisions of the council of ministers. As the chief spokesman of the state government, all important announcement on behalf of the government is made by a chief minister. Role of media. Media works as a link between the government and the electorate in which it conveys to the masses about the work of the government. Media includes newspaper, television broadcast, radio broadcast, etc. Since media has a far and wide reach, it acts as a medium to portray the various policies and performance of the government to the people. The ministers and representatives hold press conference or make the press release to connect with the people they represent. What is press conference? It is a conference where media representatives are invited and given details of the actions, policies and views of the government on any specific aspect. The media persons are allowed to interact questions on the issue and report it in the media for information of the public. The Lok Sabha or the lower house of the Parliament of India is made up of the members of Parliament or MPs. Each represents a single geometric constituency. There are currently 543 constituencies in India. Each state has between 7 and 9 MLA for every member of Parliament or MP that it has in the Lok Sabha. Odisha state has 21 MP seats. Now our chapter is over. I hope all of you understood the chapter very well. Thank you. Thanks for all. Bye.